Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, June 21st, 2021. The fire potential impacts for the next few days are shown here. We have some wind moving into the southern Great Basin today, mostly far western Nevada and far southern Nevada. And then tomorrow the wind will expand further north and east up into much of eastern southern and western Utah. And then we'll also begin to see some mixed wet dry thunderstorms move into far western Idaho. By Wednesday, you'll see more thunderstorms across the north, but the bigger story will be an increase in generally dry thunderstorms across much of southern and eastern Utah and southern Nevada. Yesterday was a quiet day with no lightning and no precipitation observed. Great Basin fire activity is shown here. We continue to pick up new initial attack, and the fires are increasing over Nevada and southern Idaho. But a lot of large fire activity remains over Utah. Observed precipitation for the past 14 is shown here with the inches on the left and percent of normal on the right. It's been a very dry June with just that bullseye precipitation over far western Idaho. Elsewhere quite dry. ERCs are still very high over particularly Utah and southern Nevada. Some of these values have come down over the past week or so with just a little bit of moisture that moved into Utah last week. But the values are still very high for the time of year and setting records in many areas, including specifically far northwest Utah, setting records for the time of year and bumping up against the 90th percentile there. Then further south over the central Utah mountains, where the values have been at the historical record for the last couple of months and are still there and inching right up on that 97th percentile value. This morning's satellite imagery shows high pressure to the south over the southwest U.S., bringing warm temperatures across the region, and a low pressure system off the California coast. It's this low that is bringing some increased winds today and tomorrow. And then we'll see some southerly moisture move up in that Wednesday timeframe. For today, we have high-risk triggers issued for far western and far southern Nevada for those winds, dry elsewhere across the Great Basin, and no other high-risk triggers. Closer look at the winds on the left, showing gusts up to 35 to 40 miles an hour possible in those areas shaded in pink over western and southern Nevada. Minimum relative humidities are still quite low, especially across the south, 4 to 8% across southern Nevada and southern Utah, a little bit higher further north. On Tuesday, the low moves a little bit closer to the coast there, and we'll see the wind speeds really pick up over southern Nevada and then spread into western and southern Utah. And we can also see a little bit of moisture starting to move up into Arizona on Tuesday. That will continue to move northward by Wednesday. On Tuesday as well, we'll see a chance for some thunderstorms across the north. So the winds on Tuesday again strengthening and expanding over southern Nevada into southern and central Utah, across much of Utah really, except for the north. And the precip on Tuesday starts to move into the central Idaho mountains and southwest Idaho as well. Wednesday is the bigger day as we see better chance for thunderstorm activity anyway, especially over Utah with more moisture moving into the state. We do have high-risk triggers issued for southern Nevada and much of southern and eastern Utah with the dry thunderstorms expected there. Some thunderstorm activity will linger across the north as well, but those will be those thunderstorms will have a better chance for producing precipitation further north. So looking at the winds, most of the winds you'll see on this map for Wednesday are associated with thunderstorm activity, outflows from those thunderstorms. And if we look at the precipitation, a better chance for precipitation, of course, over Idaho and right along the Idaho-Nevada border. The storms in Utah will be of a drier type with more limited precipitation, but the better chance over the southern Utah mountains, and drier elsewhere. The 3-day precipitation totals show the best chance for precip over far southwest Idaho and far northern Nevada there in that Wednesday time frame, and then some precip a little bit further east in central Idaho mountains, and then also the central and southern Utah mountains. Again, on that Wednesday time frame. On Thursday, the bulk of the moisture anyway, starts to move off to the east, but we'll see some lingering moisture over mainly central and northeast Utah for a continued chance of isolated, generally dry thunderstorms on Thursday in those areas. And to some extent on Friday, although the thunderstorms will definitely begin to decrease in coverage as drier air moves in. No high-risk triggers are issued for Friday. Then on Saturday, a generally dry pattern returns with the high pressure centering itself over the Pacific Northwest and Idaho, bringing some very warm temperatures further north. It will still be hot everywhere in the Great Basin, but particularly further north underneath that very strong ridge. Winds will be light into the weekend. That ridge remains in place across the northwest on Sunday with continued hot temperatures. And the 7-day totals continue to highlight mostly what we're expecting in the short term with that precipitation over Idaho and Utah on that Wednesday time frame, and then some of the lingering moisture here in northeast Utah Thursday into Friday for continuing chance of some isolated thunderstorms there. The extended forecast, June 28th through July 4th, puts the bullseye of heat right over the northern half of the Great Basin. It's going to continue to be very hot in the Great Basin with below normal chances for precipitation going into the 1st of July. But we do see an above normal chance across the southwest. Maybe it's about the right timing for the monsoon to start moving in. So we'll keep an eye on this and see how long any of this moisture may be moving in. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.